Hey there everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Finally, we have O3 Mini in our hands. And in fact, it's not O3 Mini. Actually, it has brought its family together. That is, we are getting O3 Mini and O3 Mini High. Two new reasoning models that excel at coding, science, and anything else that requires a little more thinking. Try it now. Why not? So this is the first time I'm trying O3 Mini with you guys. So at the top left corner, you can see that ChatGPT O3 Mini is selected. If you go to the drop down, you can see we have GPT-4, GPT-4 with scheduled tasks, O1, O3 Mini, O3 Mini High. And there is no O1 Mini because it is not required. Because if you go to the OpenAI pricing, here you can see our latest models. And as you guys know, OpenAI O1 costs $15 for input and $60 for output. But O3 Mini costs just $1.10 for input and $4.40 for output per million tokens. But if you go deeper, if you look at the pricing of all the models, here you can see O3 Mini and O1 Mini have the exact same price. And even after being a model of the exact same price, it is better than O1. And if you go to the official X page, here you can see that even the free users can try O3 Mini in ChatGPT by selecting the reason button. And pro users have unlimited access to O3 Mini, and plus and team users have triple the rate limits compared to O1 Mini. So in O1 Mini, we approximately got 50 messages. So triple that means we are getting 150 messages of O1 Mini, which is equivalent to getting 150 messages of a model that is even better than O1. As I said you, there were two models, O3 Mini and O3 Mini High. So all the paid users have access to O3 Mini High, but free users will only have access to O3. OpenAI O3 Mini also works with search to give you an even better researched answer. So we'll be testing all of this, but let's first get into the comparison. ChatGPT O3 Mini High versus O1. How much better is the O3 Mini model? Let's find out. Okay, so let's get started. So just before we start, you can have a look at this. There is exactly one option available in each of these models. So here in O3 Mini High, you can search the web but can't attach any kind of images. Whereas in ChatGPT O1, you can attach images but you can't search the web. So moving on, we are not considering any kind of easy questions. We will be only considering hard questions. So let's get started. So this is the first question. Here you can see in this question 3 cross 3 grids are presented, and two grids with some kind of logical reasoning result in the third one. So two examples are given and it has to find out the answer for the third one. The diagrammatic representation is already visible to you. You can pause this video and have a try. So let's see. First prompt of the day, sending to both O1 O3 Mini. So here you can see both have started reasoning. So here O3 Mini is already ahead in its reasoning, and O1 is kind of slow. So O3 Mini is done with its answer and O1 is still thinking, and here you can see this is the correct answer. And it says that it thought for 26 seconds. Let's see how much time does O1 take. Okay, so after 3 minutes and 13 seconds, O1 comes to the correct answer, whereas O3 Mini was able to do it in 26 seconds. What a difference. So let's move on to the next question. And from this point on, most of the questions are such that O1 is not able to solve it. So it's going to be hard for even the O3 Mini model. Let's see what they do. Okay, so this is the seating arrangement question, the toughest question from my previous test bench, and the diagrammatic solution of this question will be visible to you. And meanwhile, let me read few lines of this code. So 8 friends A, B, C, D, E, F, G and H are seated around a square table. The seats are numbered from 1 to 8, starting from the seat 1 at the top left corner of the table. The seats 1, 3, 5 and 7 are the corner seats, and the one sitting there face towards the center of the table, as you can see in the image as well. And the one sitting at 2, 4, 6 and 8, that is the middle seats, they face away from the center as it is shown. And then there are various conditions that have to be followed. And at the end we ask how many different seating arrangements are possible following all these conditions. And with mentioning the number of seating arrangement, it also has to specify those seating arrangements. So let's see which model is able to get it right. O1 or any model up until now has not been able to solve it. Will O3 Mini solve it? Let's find out. So let's send this to both of the models. It is likely that both of the models will take quite a lot of time. I've seen O1 to take up to 9 minutes as well for this particular question. So let's see. Here you can see, if you see the reasoning tokens, O3 Mini is far ahead compared to O1. Okay, so O1 thought for 1 minute and 26 seconds, and we have got the response, that is GEDF CBHA and GHTF EBCA. So this is the wrong seating arrangement, although it has got the correct answer that there are only two valid seating arrangements. But the arrangement it has mentioned is wrong. Meanwhile, O3 Mini is still thinking, and this makes me think that maybe it will get it right. Let's see. Okay, so while it's solving, I'm actually seeing something very strange. It says arms of judgment. I'm working on who the murderer could be based on the knife and rope clues. Each suspect's actions and motives are aligned with their clues, revealing their likely culprit. How does this relate to our question? I've heard that even Owen and Owen Preview as well have these kind of abnormalities in their thinking. Okay, so it is done thinking and let's see. Now this time O3 Mini took 3 minutes and 36 seconds. So it's quite a lot given how fast O3 Mini is. Let's see what is the response. Okay, here we can say that its response is better than O1 because if you count in reverse, it is kind of right. GFTB and GFTB But the problem is this can't happen. And the reason is D is sitting in the bottom seats. As you can see, D can't sit in seats 5 and 7. So this is wrong from O3 Mini as well. But I would say that its effort was way better because I have seen this response in O1 but after 2 or 3 responses. So this is a fail from both of the models, but O3 Mini's response was way better. Let's move on to the next question. So this is quite a long question. So I'll be pasting all the questions down in the description. You can have a look and meanwhile you check the description. Make sure you subscribe to my channel because there are a lot of comparisons between these two models. So make sure you hit the like button and subscribe to my channel. So this question is about mapping a knockout tennis tournament. So it has 64 players who are placed from seed 1 to seed 64, and there are various rules who can play whom, how they are grouped, who will play in the first round, second round, all of that. And after you have grouped all of them, this is most likely what you will come up with. Have a look at this chart. So here you can see first round, second round, and slowly you reach the finals. So the condition is if one of the matches was between player 23 and player 46, then one of the matches in the tournament can be between 9 and 50, 6 and 17, 5 and 7, 25 and 42, or none of these. So we are just simply asking that if these two players are playing against each other, so is there a chance for these players to compete against each other? If there is none, so they have to answer none of these. And actually the answer is none of this. I'll be explaining how. Before that, let's send this question to these models. So we'll be sending this to OpenAI O1 as well. Meanwhile, let me explain you why it is not possible. So if you look at player 23 and 46, right, here you can look at this quadrant. Here is player 46 and have a look at this one. In this quadrant you can see that here is player 23 right here, and this was player 26. Here you can see these both are playing against each other. This means player 46 has defeated everyone here and player 23 has defeated everyone here. And if someone has to come from these two quadrants, then they will win and come to semi-final, and then they will compete between 23 and 46 only, because here 46 is sitting, here 23 is sitting. They can only compete with the winner between 23 and 46. So there is no chance that anyone from here or here will be able to play with anyone here. That is the reason there is no chance. So here we have represented it diagrammatically, but these models have to make that mind map. Here you can see it is saying tracking process, spotting inconsistencies and all of that. Let's see which model is able to get it right. Okay, so OpenAI is done thinking. Let's have a look. So it thought for 3 minutes and 1 seconds, and it says that 9 and 50 will compete with each other. The correct answer is option A. Let's have a look. So this is 9 and somewhere here, I think, yeah, this is 50. So there is no way they can compete with each other. This is a fail. Meanwhile, O3 Mini still thinking. Okay, so it's done. So O3 Mini thought for around 4 minutes and 18 seconds, and the response is 5 and 7. So 5 is over here and 7 is here at the bottom. There is no chance they can play. This is a fail. So as you can see, both of the models have failed this question, and this is a new addition in our test, because we have to get ready for O3, which is very hard to defeat. So this ends our reasoning section. Let's move on to some tough max questions. So this is my level 2 max question. Here, in this question, I have an initial balance of $100,000, and every month, $15,000 add up into it. As soon as my total balance is $200,000, I earn $30,000 instead of 15. So when my total balance doubles, my monthly income also doubles. So with that condition, it has to find out how much total money will I have in 3 years, that is 36 months. You can pause and read this question and even try if you want. So this question even O1 Mini was able to solve it, but here we are actually checking how fast O3 Mini can solve it compared to O1. Let's see. Let's send this question to both of the models. Okay, so O3 Mini is done. It has thought for 58 seconds only, and it is showing the complete calculation over here, and the correct answer is 9,475,000. Exactly. Meanwhile, Owen is still thinking, taking its time. Okay, so Owen has come to the conclusion 9,475,000. It took nearly 2 minutes and 36 seconds, whereas just 58 seconds of O3 Mini's performance. O3 Mini is very fast compared to Owen, and also I've got the message. I just have 5 responses remaining from Owen, so I have been testing it since morning and coming up with these questions. So if you are liking this video up until this point, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe for more comparison between these models. Meanwhile, let's see if we are able to complete our test within these 5 responses. Let's move on to the next question. So as you can see, this is the question. So this question is from the Frontier Math benchmark. Here you can see the difficulty level is medium, and the solution is clearly mentioned. It is 9811. Let's see if any of these models is able to solve it. So let's send this to both of the models. And meanwhile they are solving, let's actually go to OpenAI and see what are the scores of these models in the Frontier Math benchmark. If you go to the O3 Mini's model card, here you can see in Frontier Math, in one shot, O3 Mini high scores 9.2% and O1 scores 5.5%. So it's kind of, half compared to O3 Mini. So let's see if that replicates into the response. This was a medium level question. Maybe a lower level question could have been a better selection to compare these models, but let's see. Okay, so OpenAI 1 is done thinking and it has thought for around 6 minutes and 28 seconds, the highest in our test, and the answer is 11. So as you see, it is wrong. The correct answer is 9811. Meanwhile, O3 Mini is taking more time, and this is a common trait that we have seen in O3 Mini, that whenever I have mentioned that this question is hard and O1 was not able to solve it, that is the exact question where O3 Mini takes more time. Whereas when it's an easy question, it gives blazing fast response. Okay, so O3 Mini thinks for around 8 minutes and 9 seconds. Very long for O3 Mini. And even it comes with the response as 11, but the correct answer is 9811. So both the models have failed this. Let's try to do one thing. Let's ask a simpler question. I had a question, this one, the high level question, but I think if they are not able to do the medium one, they will not be able to do the high one as well. Let's ask this medium low level question. Okay, so this is the text version of that question. And as you can see, this is a medium low level question, 2 steps below the previous one. So let's see if they are able to solve it. Let's send this to both of the models. And already we can see that O3 Mini has started responding. And if you actually go to the OpenAI O3 Mini's page, here you can see the time to first token, the first response that comes up here. It is very less compared to O1 Mini as well. So there has to be a very big difference between O1 and O3 Mini. That's the reason we see O3 Mini, coming up with the responses quicker. Okay, so O3 Mini is done and it has thought for around 3 minutes and 9 seconds. If you look at the solution, clearly mentions that 62524387891 is the answer, but it has not given us, but I think it has given us this expression. Let's have a look at it. In the answer, this is what we have got. 1 minus t square, 1 minus t power 4 square, 1 minus t power 5 square, 1 minus t power 6. So it has got to the correct equation, but it has not given us the answer. If it's better than O1 or not, we'll have to see once O1 comes to the response. Okay, so O1 has given us this 251 as the answer, which is exactly wrong. Let's see at any point, it came to the correct equation anywhere. So we don't see that this particular equation anywhere, but as you can see, O3 Mini was able to come to this equation. It means that it was able to partially solve it. And here at the bottom, O3 Mini says that it is not nice to give the final answer as a single integer. Anyways, I want to check that anyhow, so let's ask it. So this is what we are sending to the O3 Mini model, that the place where I am checking it, the answer is mentioned in this whole number. So you also give me the answer in whole number. Okay, we finally have a response and the answer is 5913229072000. But this is what is mentioned over here, and this means that it was able to get the correct formula, but when it comes to computation, it was not able to get it right. But it was way better than O1. I don't know what OpenAI O1 did. It is a fail, but I think it serves the purpose. It shows that O3 Mini is smarter than O1 when it comes to mathematic questions. So now let's move on to the final section, that is the coding section, which is the most interesting. So this is the first coding question. Write a Python script that simulates a red ball bouncing within a rotating equilateral triangle using Pygame. The ball must always stay inside the triangle by detecting collision and reflecting correctly. So I've seen this question, mentioned in many places, and people have said that the OpenAI models are not able to get it right, whereas even the Gemini models or DeepSeek R1 is able to get it right. So let's see if that has improved or not. Let's send this to both of the models, and meanwhile I have set up the IDE. Let's see. Okay, so Owen thought for just 12 seconds and it is already giving us the whole code. Let's see. Meanwhile, O3 Mini is still thinking. So by this time, I'm able to come to a conclusion that if O3 Mini is thinking and O1 has come with a response, then it's most likely that O1 is going to be wrong. So let's test O1's response. Let's see. Okay, so the ball just escaped. Let's try one more time. Let's run this. Okay, so the ball escaped. So this is a fail from the O1 model. Meanwhile, O3 Mini is done and it has thought for around 1 minute and 27 seconds. Let's see. Let's copy this and let's see. Will it be able to run? So we don't see any kind of errors. Let's run this. Okay, that is nice. So we'll watch it for a moment because I've seen that Owen actually gets this right. But after a while, the ball escapes the triangle. Okay, so I've seen this for quite a while now and it's not escaping. So this is clearly a pass. Let's move on to the next question. So some of you guys were asking that, most of the questions are based on graphical user interface and, GUI. And I should include some test which test the backend capability and, the actual calculations in the console. So this is that particular question. So I've picked it up from the code forces and this is the question 2060G bucket sort and the elo is 2400. So 2400 is approximately the score of O3. So this is a O3 level question and most probably both will not be able to solve it, but let's see, who knows. So as you can see, this is the code and there are two friends, Alice and Bob, and Alice has given Bob some arrays to sort and this is that on Bob has to sort that arrays and give us the correct answer. So here you can see there is an example input and output. So we'll be pasting this input and this is the output we should be getting. No, yes, no, yes, yes. So let's see. I've given clear instructions that you have to write Python script and all of that. Let's see if any of these models is able to get it right. Okay, so 3 mini is still thinking and OpenAI 1 has given us the response. Let's see. So it has thought for around 2 minutes and 26 seconds. So again it took less time. This means that there is a very high chance it's gonna be wrong. So let's paste this and I've already have the input text and the correct answer here. So running this code should give us the response. So let's run this and the response is no, yes, 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 yes. So that is a fail because clearly the answer is no, yes, no, yes, yes. So it missed one no here. So let's see if O3 mini is able to get it right. Okay, so O3 mini is done with its response and it has thought for around 5 minutes, exactly 5 minutes. I think it was one of the highest we were able to make O3 mini think. So let's see, let's paste the code. Okay, I did some mistake, I guess. So okay, it seems that it has given us the code in C++ instead of giving us in Python. So we'll have to mention that. So I've mentioned that the code is in C++. I want the code in Python. So let's see. Usually all the codes here, they are in C++ only, but here I have the Python IDE, so I'll have to test in Python. Let's see. Anyhow, we are not, checking for time constraints as mentioned here. So even if it's a bit slower in Python, that's okay. Okay, so it has given us the Python script. Let's copy this and let's try it out. No errors, no warnings, nothing. Let's run. Okay, so even this one gives no and 4 yeses, but as we saw here, there has to be one no here in the between. So that is a fail again. I think O3 will be only able to solve this given it's a 2400 rating question. So do tell me down in the comments, if you want a complete comparison of O1 and O3 on various questions in code forces, because there are various levels 1300, 1200, 800 as well, which I think should be easy for both of these models. With that being said, most likely we have only one response in O1 remaining and there is only one final question. So let's move on to the final coding question and the final question in our test. And this question is indeed the Pac-Man question. How can we forget that? So if you don't know, here we are asking them to create a state-of-the-art Pac-Man game in Python without using any external files, whether it's images, video or audio. It has to do all of that in one single code. So let's see. So the best response that I've got for this is O1 preview. If you want to check that out, you can see my review of the O1 preview model. Meanwhile, let's see, can O3 mini come up with a better version? I'm really excited because It has been quite a while I've seen a good version of this game. Okay, so OpenAI O3 Mini is done thinking and it has thought for around 45 seconds. Meanwhile, O1 is also done thinking and it has thought for around 16 seconds only. And it's a pretty long code, and as you can see, you have hit the plus pan limit for O1. So I have exhausted all the prompts for this comparison. So I hope you subscribe to my channel, hit the like button if you like this. So let's compare O1's response to O3 Mini. So since my O1 responses have already exhausted, so it shows it has automatically switched to ChatGPT O3 Mini High. So let's see. Okay, these many days O1 was not coming up with the correct response, and now it is coming up with the correct response. Okay, so we have lost one life. Let's give it one more try. Okay, so now the Pac-Man is not moving, but it's a very good response. I mean, like, I was not able to get this response these many days, but now the Pac-Man is not moving and it's a game over. It's not the best version, but I think it's been a while I have seen something like this. With that being said, let's move to the beast. Let's see what O3 Mini has come up with. It did take some time to think, that is 45 seconds, so I think we will get a good response. Who knows? So immediately we don't see any kind of errors. Let's run this. Okay, so that was not what I was expecting. It should have been better, right? Very bad. Come on, I want to give it a try. Let me try it once more. I was not expecting this from O3 Mini. I mean, like, it could be a random response because, quite frankly, sometimes they get it wrong and come up with something like this. But even I have tested O1 these many days, I have never got such a bad Pac-Man game. Anyways, let's see. Okay, so this time I do see a good maze over here, and it has thought for around 1 minute and 15 seconds. Let's see. I do have some high hopes. Let's run this. Okay, so list index out of range. That didn't run. That was a fail, and I can't give multiple tries. So what can we say? After having tested these multiple questions, we did clearly see that when it comes to reasoning, it was not able to solve the seating arrangement question, but its response was way better than what Owen came up with. And having tested this question many times, I know that usually Owen comes to this conclusion after one or two responses. So 3 Mini did have slightly better reasoning. But there is one more thing to say. Actually, when I was testing this question on Owen Preview also came up with the same response. So you can draw your own conclusions from it. But compared to O1 in reasoning, O3 Mini is better. Moving on to the max section, we did see that the last two hard questions, both of them were not able to solve it. But when we tried the medium low question, O3 Mini was able to get to the correct formula. But O1, I don't know what it was doing. Moving on to the coding section, we saw that the famous triangle question, O3 Mini was able to get it right, but O1 straight up got a fail. When we asked the hard code forces question, both of the models failed. And moving on to the Pac-Man question, in a very strange manner, O3 Mini couldn't do it, but O1 gave its best response. Trust me, if you check my previous videos, since the day I tested O1 preview, O1 didn't give me such kind of a response, and now when it was competing against O3 Mini, it gave its best. But I do think that O3 Mini should be better in graphical user interface. For that, I'll be making a special video comparing these two for the front-end development. And last time between O1 and DeepSeek R1, R1 was the one who won, so we'll be having DeepSeek R1 as well. So from this video, we can draw conclusions that O3 Mini is better than O1 when it comes to reasoning and max, while still being cheaper and faster. Talking about the coding, we have to do a deep testing about that. And as I said, if you want to watch that video, make sure you subscribe to my channel and hit the like button. And I'll catch you guys in the next one.